And welcome to the Six Fronts Podcast, Episode 7. What is up, Maddox? I'm Bearded Luke. This is Maddox. How's it going?
Going pretty good, brother. How are you?
I'm great. Really great. This is our first podcast where we have brand new Destiny content that is out, and we have
We
a
do.
lot to talk about. So much to talk about that we're just going to play while we talk about
We
it.
are, yes. We have a playthrough
Yeah.
scheduled for today. We have a lot of different things we're gonna be doing, so it's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be fun. But first, Maddox, how's your week been? I mean, light falls out. You're kind of stuck.
Good.
You're kind of stuck at home still from not working.
Yeah,
So like,
yeah. I've been quote unquote working from home. And by that I mean playing video games. But in all seriousness, no, I have been working it, and of course, playing Lightfall. I've been enjoying it. I've been enjoying it. So we'll save some more of
yeah,
our hot
yeah,
takes,
for a
potential
bit.
hot takes for later. So
We've both have been just working and playing. Like I have a monitor up here that I have playing, and I'm like editing down here. We keep me and Max be in text chat or in game chat. Like, hey, 1 second, I'm working for a second. It'll be like 5 minutes.
yeah.
We're just in orbit.
We're not even physically talking to each other other than just team chat.
Yeah, we're not even in Discord together. We're just playing while working. You know,
Hang on. I'm on a phone call. Hang on 1 second.
yeah, you got to grind when you can. But I've
That's
had a
funny.
fun week. It's cool. But let's get into this. First, number 7. That's my favorite number. So this should be a good episode. And
I agree.
the only
It'll be a
bad
great
thing that
episode.
happened with the number 7 that relates to today, and this is gonna date this, but today is what is today? March 5th, 2023. My favorite soccer team, Manchester United, lost 7-0 to Liverpool. 7 goals. So the number
Today,
7.
that's terrible.
Yeah, it was.
And
It's
it's still your
heart.
favorite though.
It's heartbreaking. But anyways, we have a really awesome guest on today. He's another member of the Six Fronts team.
He is indeed.
I've known this guest for a long time since he was young. I mean, he's still a young little lad, but like I think he was like 15 when I met him on the internet playing video games. So, without further ado, let's bring in the one, the only, next up Nova.
Hello.
What
How
up?
we
Come in,
doing?
brother.
Welcome to the podcast, bro.
Good to be here.
We're happy to have you. We love you.
Love you
At
guys
least.
too.
But so we're like, as we do, if you listen to this podcast or watch, you know, we like to do a little short section at the beginning here where we kind of talk to our guests about their journey. We're gonna do a quick journey talk because we really want to play Destiny, and Nova's in full on grind mode this week, trying to get ready for this day one
Oh, yeah.
raid.
Oh, yeah.
We could have a potential, you know, raid champ, like world's first champion on the podcast right
possible.
now. You never know.
Never know.
But dude, Nova, tell us your story. Like, tell us, like, you make YouTube videos, you do graphic design, you stream on Twitch. Like, how did you get there? And you're young. You're only like, are you even 18 yet?
Yeah, I'm 18.
Okay, he's 18. But that's all. Like, you just do an incredible amount of things for someone your age. So tell us how you got there.
Okay, so I'll start off. I'm NxtupNova. I do Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter for my socials. I do a lot of PvE content in Destiny, a lot of like damage testing and builds and things like that. I stream a lot of helps. So in terms of how I got into Destiny, so back during year one in like 2014, it was like late 2014, the Dark Below trailer came out, and I watched it, and I was like, wow, this is cool. And so a couple of my IRL friends got into Destiny right when it came out, and they introduced me to it. And I was like, wow, this game is crazy. Because I've never seen a game that's had such good PvP and PvE at the same time. And I really thought it was intriguing. So I got into it after the Dark Below launch. So uh, I grinded quite a bit. I was a very casual player, though. I didn't really like take it seriously. And so Destiny 2 came out, and I was super excited. I was definitely a little older then, and I wanted to start taking it seriously. And the launch was kind of rough. So I decided to take a little break. I wasn't playing for probably about a year. And then Forsaken came around. I played for about 2 weeks, and I said, this isn't for me. So I took another break, and then I come back in Season of Opulence, and I missed out on so much. People kept telling me like, "Oh, dude, you gotta see this new raid, Last Wish. You gotta get all these new weapons." I'm like, "Wow, I missed out on a lot." So that was the point, I guess, when I decided to start taking it more seriously. getting the better weapons, things like that. Starting to actually learn how to be better and do things like day ones, like that. So I would say, yeah. So for a few months I played, and then Shadowkeep came out. When Shadowkeep came out, I started getting better at the game. I had pretty much all the good stuff like Mountaintop, Recluse, things like that by that point. Um, and COVID hit in 2020, like a few months after that. So when that hit, I realized I have a lot of time on my hands. I should start creating content on a game because I don't want to just play a game. I want to be able to do something like that, like create content, stream to people. I thought that was a cool idea. So I already had like a camera, PC, monitors, all that stuff that I had saved up for a few years at that point. Honestly, it was like Christmas money, birthday money that I'd saved up at that point because I was pretty young. And so I guess I started streaming. I hit affiliate. I decided to just keep going and start to take it more seriously. And then later that year, I did my first day one raid, which was DSC, and we finished it. It was like 18 hours. It was crazy. And I was like, wow, I really need to be able to finish this faster so I'm not so tired. And so that's kind of my motivation, is content creation and improving as a player in general. So that's kind of my story with how I got
Awesome.
started.
Heck yeah, bro. And you make sick. You're a sick graphic designer. I don't know how you just pulled that out of nowhere.
A little bit. Yeah,
Did
I
you
do.
did you just teach yourself how to do that? Like I don't understand.
Yeah,
Like
I've
one
been
day all of a
learning.
sudden you were just like making sick graphics for people. I was like, this is
Yeah, I
insane. This
kind of
kid's so
just
talented.
picked up on it couple years ago. I just thought it would be a cool thing to do as this little side thing. So I just started doing that on the side along with gaming and streaming and tube stuff. So yeah.
That's awesome. Also, if anyone's watching this live or after and you see my camera keep turning off, this is just my PC. I need a new PC, so I apologize. I don't know why it keeps doing that. Like this thing sucks. So
I was curious what that's
I
going
don't
on.
know why it's doing that. I think I just need a new PC. This thing is it's too much AFK farming. It's burnt.
Got stuck in the Golgi maze.
Yeah, I keep getting
Mhm.
stuck in
Find
the
his way
maze.
out.
I can't. I don't know how
Can't
to
find his way
see.
out.
I have this opposite. I can't get out. Yeah, I'm not a gamer. But sick dude. Well, we're pumped to have you. Let's get into it though. We got some gaming to do.
Yeah. Do
Oh,
you
yeah.
want to
Light falls out. We got a lot of stuff.
we can just share we can share your gameplay for now, and then we'll just kind of switch back. Unfortunately, we won't be able to have Nova's gameplay up because it would just be a little too laggy.
Yeah.
And that way and even Luke's is a little bit laggy, so pardon if it is a bit unbearable. It's just the best we can do at this moment. So
Yeah.
but other than that, we're gonna start talking about of course Lightfall. For those that don't know, DLC, one of the biggest DLCs that comes out around February. In this case, it brought us a new campaign, it brought us some new seasonal content, a lot of big things. Also, it brought us a new subclass, a new darkness subclass called Strand. So we're going to talk a little bit more about our first thoughts, and we're going to play along as well too. So if you guys are in chat, you guys get to watch Luke and my gameplay. Let me get this up here. So let's do this, Luke, so people know that it
Yeah.
is your
Whatever you want it to be, you do it.
gameplay. That way they know who's who. So when you do
I-
it full screen like that, it's weird. It doesn't put your name.
Yeah,
so
I didn't
it's
even.
odd.
I just clicked over and it just made it that way.
No worries, no worries. So we're gonna first start talking about the biggest thing, of course. Every time that comes in with a new DLC, we get the big campaign. So Nova, give us your thoughts. We'll go Nova, then Luke, and then myself. Give us your thoughts on the campaign and why we do this, or while we do this, we're gonna be doing our seasonal mission here to get the 100K. So we kind of can talk about the campaign and do the campaign at the same time. Bada boom, bada bing.
All right. So spoilers or no spoilers before we start?
Dude, if you guys are still here, spoiler alert, spoiler alert.
Yeah,
click
we
off,
got to do
click off.
spoilers. Yeah. If
I
someone's
mean,
watching this, they
it's-
probably played it already.
Yeah, this shit dropped 4 days ago, bro. Y'all ain't. Come on.
Yeah, it's
Let's
been
go.
4 days. Come
That's
on.
fair,
I'm just
yeah.
kidding.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay, so overall in the campaign, it was a fun campaign. The gameplay was fun. The tormentors are very cool. All the different air and ground attacks it can do. So I guess the gameplay aspect was very good. I really enjoyed Strand and getting to try it out in pretty much every mission. The story I will say was kind of odd, and it felt like that it was kind of just thrown in there in a way. But it did start to make a little more sense near the end, and then the end, very end, kind of got me like, I don't know what's happening here. So the thing that I found weird was the first cutscene and the last cutscene were very similar, and it seemed like they were happening at the same time. So it was weird because the door that they closed in the helm to block the darkness stuff from the pyramid ship, that door opened at the last cutscene. So it seemed like that all happened at once, and then they just cut it half and half.
I see what
and
you're
then they
saying. You know,
threw-
I actually didn't notice that until.
Yeah, I have a theory on
Yeah.
that. I have a theory that and this is like super speculation, but
Oh, so
because
you might be changing POVs here. I'm sorry.
because based on based on why we should change POVs.
Because I just the lag is unreal.
It didn't look laggy for me up here.
Oh, weird.
Is it lagging on Twitch?
I think so.
It looks fine for me.
Right.
Anyways, I genuinely believe that they this is gonna sound like really speculative, but I believe that they as in they, I mean Bungie had planned for Lightfall to be, and we all know this, like it was supposed to be the Witch Queen
the
and
last
then
DLC.
and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
Lightfall. I think that Lightfall was supposed to be the last DLC. They had already started working on stuff, and that it was going to be like the big thing, like the big dog. And instead, once they switched it up, they had to figure out how to make Lightfall be a filler, basically. And that I believe that cutscene is one whole cutscene, but it was cut in two with a story in between, essentially, that they came up with last minute. Like,
Yeah,
I feel
that's
like
what I think too.
I think Strand was supposed to be in Witch Queen. There's just a lot inside of the season that I think.
Well, there's the big leak that came out. Remember that on Twitter where they
Yeah,
talked
that
about
Strand
how
was supposed
Lightfall
to
was
be.
supposed to be wasn't even supposed to be a thing, and how this was supposed to be the final time. Like this time in real present day should have been whenever the final saga, whatever, ended. Like this should have been the final DLC for Destiny 2 before the saga.
Yeah, yeah,
They weren't ready for it yet, so they couldn't do it.
yep. So
What are you? We have a Radiant. We need. See.
I was gonna say we didn't even double check to see if we were.
I don't
ready.
know if
We're
we had-
good. We're good.
Yeah, we can do that. We can
Suspend
do
is
that.
Oh yeah,
OP,
he can
baby.
suspend everything.
We can suspend, yeah.
Anyways,
Okay.
but yeah. So like I was Nova actually was watching your stream while I was playing. I was kind of like because you were like one mission ahead of us
So
the
was
whole
I,
time.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like watching your reaction as you went through, and basically the way we felt the whole time we were playing it was like I was really happy. Like this mission is really good. This one we're playing right now. I thought it had a
Yeah,
really
I love this mission. This
I've
was
actually played this mission way too many times, bro.
yeah like
Because
this
I fucked my 100K and it being the weekly thing.
Yeah,
I've done this
same,
mission so
same.
many times.
yeah this mission is this mission's fun, but the we kept playing, and as we went on, we knew we were getting closer because the little like triumph said, you know, like that. We were almost done. We were on on, I think there's what, like 8 missions in the campaign or something like that. We were on like
I think
7.
So yeah.
I'm like, we were like, man, it feels like we're just getting started. Like we're just learning stuff, and like there was some, and the story started getting pushed really fast, and some characters were getting killed that had zero build up. There was just
Oh
like,
yes, dude. Don't even get me started on that.
there was just like a
That
lot.
actually,
Yeah.
So
that
that's
actually really made no sense to me.
so my opinion overall is I knew this too. Like we talked about this in the podcast a bunch. I knew that I wasn't going to be super pumped about this because I knew that whenever they said like the second they said Lightfall's not at the end anymore and instead we're doing Final Shape after, I'm like, well, this is literally just going to be a lead up to Final Shape. Like what, or just like
exactly
a random story that doesn't make any sense. It's going to make sense, but just a random story that's not going to finish anything. And at this point, we want like something to finish. Like we've been doing the same exact like storyline for this long. I want something. So I'm not like upset about it, mainly because like I knew that was going to happen, but I still had a good time. I think Strand's really cool, and there's a lot more to talk about, but I don't want to go too hard. So Maddox, what did you think about the
Yeah, so
campaign?
I'm on the fence a little bit. I do think that this definitely was some form of filler content like we've come to know, basically, like what the leaks and stuff have said. But I feel like they still could have done a better job. I mean, you think about, we go back to Destiny 1, kind of like vanilla, and we see Callus being like the first big enemy that we know of, or like other than Galron, I mean, or other than
Gaul.
of Gaul, like the story. But he was the first raid in Destiny 2, big Callus. But then we knew he wasn't dead because he always robots, whatever.
Mhm.
And then Callus is in so many different seasonal stories that we
Yeah,
have.
he's this major villain.
And then the only thing we see is him at the end standing in a fucking circle.
Yeah, we see like 2 cutscenes about him.
Yeah, and he's bitch made for the witness.
Here, I'm gonna let this guy. Oh, just kidding. I thought he was gonna touch me.
I don't know. Like, I feel like with how important Callus was for so many different things, I'll get baited. That I just feel like it should have been a little bit more extravagant the way we killed him, or the way he was presented in the story.
I agree.
I don't know. Like, he was a raid boss, and then we just kill him in a thing. I don't know. To me, that just really was very underwhelming. The way that Callus is, I don't know, is defeated. And even still, there's speculations that he's not really dead.
Yeah, because of the tree thing, like just like with Rolk,
Yeah,
like
like,
Rolk,
I don't
like
know.
Like he can be brought back.
base. Yeah,
Like, if he would have actually, like, if we would have like for sure killed him there at the end, and we saw like his head pop off or something, I don't know, something
we
hilarious.
cut his
like,
head off with the razor.
Yeah, like if we how we did like Crow. The cutscene ended with us shooting him with the ace of spades. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, except
Like, if
you
we
know,
had like a for sure death of Callus
it
at
would
the end,
it would
like,
have been
I would
Nimbus
feel a lot
coming up
better.
and chopping his head off and then going up to Cal or going up to
Yeah,
Cattle
like,
and
this is for Rohan, you son of a bitch.
oh no,
Yeah,
he would
pretty
have he would have done it, laughed, and then went up to Cattle and said, "Hey, how's it going? That was fun." Like, look at your dead dad on the ground, which is a whole nother
That's another
topic.
thing. So let me talk about Rohan. So that some of the newest things as we know is there's these two things called, or these two enemies, not enemies, two allies that we create in Lightfall called Cloud Striders, and one of them ended up getting killed in the thing, Rohan.
Yep.
I think we maybe saw him maybe 3 times.
Arguably one of the coolest characters ever in Destiny, by the way.
He was
Ever.
cool. Yeah, he was cool.
Literally looks like you know what he reminds me of? I don't know if you guys ever saw the Spy Kids movie where they're in the game
my
and it's
God.
Spy Kids
Grandpa.
3D.
Yes,
Oh gosh.
and it's Grandpa. Like, that's what it reminded me of whenever he got his legs back or something. I don't know why, but that's just my first thought. And I don't know, like, such a cool character just to die off like that really made me like why? I don't know.
Yeah, we never really got to know him enough.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
just
Or
died.
just how badass he
It
was.
was just
or why
rushed.
He was really.
I was really,
Rushed
It
is a
was
good way to
very
put it.
rushed.
I
will
was
agree
really
with that.
sad about it. Now, listen, I'm not like upset. Like, I'm still having a lot of fun. I'm pretty optimistic
Absolutely.
when new content comes out. I've pretty much come to the point of like, I always just don't expect anything. I'm just excited that honestly, just getting to power grind again is fine, even though it's not that much fun technically. And there's
Power
not a ton,
grinding is one of my favorite things.
there's like
to do
not
in
a
this
ton of
game,
payoff.
getting
It's
to max rank.
yeah, it's still just fun. And there's like new Guardian ranks. So there's a lot of like all of the like changes to the quality of life in the game was
Yeah, it's
was
been amazing.
That's a
so
big
far
thing
for
as well
that
too.
aspect.
That is a huge thing. I will agree. The quality of life of this DLC is immaculate.
yeah. But anyways, so
Just-
campaign, I think we all like didn't enjoy it. It's like everyone on the internet didn't enjoy it, and
yeah.
I mean not everyone, and I'm not saying didn't enjoy it. I mean just like we know that this story was fast. We learned about the Veil, kind of. That's going to be something we talk about later.
Mhm.
I personally like have no clue what happened in that story. I'd probably have to watch a Byte video to be honest. Like I was
Yeah.
trying to pay attention, dude, but I was having a hard time because I just wanted to finish it as fast as I could so I
Right,
could start
right,
power
right.
grinding.
Let's talk a little bit about Strand. So we get Strand in the campaign. So we're still
Oh
kind of
yeah,
somewhat talking
I was
about the
gonna ask you
campaign.
guys
So
too. What like once we get into it, I want to know not right this second, but I want to know what your opinions were about playing it in the campaign, like how it was used.
we can
in
talk
the
about it right
campaign.
now because I mean we're
Yeah.
still on the topic of the campaign, and I'll give you my thoughts. I think the campaign really juiced it up, and it made I think Strand is very strong. Don't get me wrong, but the campaign really juiced it up.
Yeah,
Where
agreed.
it was
And
very
so
underwhelming
OP.
post campaign. But now after they gave us all the fragments, I think it's right back to being campaign style,
Yeah,
like campaign
agreed.
worthy, like strong. If that
Yeah.
makes sense. Like because every time you got it in the campaign, you had increased regen and stuff like that. So it's like, oh man. And it's just like everything that you got was so strong, and Strand just does so much damage to all these things. And then you get post campaign, it's like, what the heck? Why is my grapple taking 6 years to come back? You know,
Yeah.
For real.
like that's the biggest thing that I saw after is just a lot of the the ability regen stuff was extremely low compared to, and that was because it was empowered in the campaign. But I don't know. Now I am a Strand fan, like 100%.
Oh, I love
This is
Strand, yeah.
such a cool subclass.
I was gonna say, Nova, you're like a build master. Tell us what you think about Strand. Like, what was your initial thoughts? Where are you at with it now?
When it first came out, like when I first got it before the fragments got released, I was like, I mean, this is usable, but in like any type of like a day one raid or a GM, probably not. And then once the fragments came out and people started to make builds and then things started to get like figured out, I was like, wow, this is actually crazy because
Is
of
it?
the
Yeah, I think
way to
I
like
thought the
suspend
same exact
things,
thing.
stop them from shooting you, take less damage, make the enemies do less damage.
Dude, and it like screws with
crazy.
freaking champions. Finally, like something that
Yeah.
screws with all of them, not just like right now.
you don't
For
have to build
instance,
into
if
it.
Nova, if Maddox was over here while we're playing this anti-barrier, Maddox
man.
could stun this anti-barrier and we could kill it like completely, kind of
Oh,
deal.
you guys
But
are
we're both
dead.
dead because we're in the 1830 of this. I didn't know we were doing the 1830.
Yeah.
We have to. We have to.
yeah,
we
I think
still
we have to
farm res.
for the thingy, yeah.
You still have to, you
Still
even have to farm
reses.
reses at 1830.
Yep.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
So you're what am I trying to say here? It's kind of hard to play a game and talk at the same time, by the way. I'm realizing my brain doesn't work super good. I personally feel the same way as you, Maddox. I thought it was cool that it was like happening throughout, like you get to play with it, like it teases you.
You didn't die?
It teases you pretty hard throughout the campaign. Like you get to use it.
Oh yeah, agreed.
But I wasn't like
stop on my ass.
here. I'm coming out of here for a second. I wasn't super pumped that.
Oh!
What's going on over there? we'll come over. Let's just
I'm
go to
trying
this side.
I'm trying to 1v1 to unstop, bro.
Let's go see how he's doing over there.
He's really weak though. He wasn't finishable. I was trying to get him, but he wasn't. He was just barely finishable. Nice.
Yeah. So I thought that they made it like juice. Like it was like, is this gonna be what Strand's like when this is over? Like this is awesome.
Right?
Like I'm grappling everywhere. And
like, how are we more powerful before we master Strand?
Then exactly.
And then when we get it, we're not as powerful.
Yeah.
That's what I was wondering.
I thought that was a
tough.
gigantic. It was like marketing in the game, but false It's like they false advertised in game to us.
I was gonna say that false advertising.
And so I whenever I got it, I was like, well, never using this. But then I just waited for 6 Fronts members to make YouTube videos about how builds work, and now I'm starting to really like it because there's a lot of stuff. Like right then, like we just were able to stun a freaking anti-barrier, and he's just floating around.
The suspend is insane. It is insanely good,
and
for everything every champion can't regen health or can't do this and that. Just because they're just strung up in my little tangles.
Now I will say that the and this has to do with Strand. They definitely like I think Neomuna, the location's a cool spot, but I think that they made it seem like it was going to be this massive city with like skyscrapers everywhere, and we're going to be like going rooftop to rooftop and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then it's not. It's like the outskirts of the city. And
I was disappointed.
You aren't really like Spider-Man flying from building to building at all, to be honest. So that was a little bit disappointing, especially once I actually unlocked it, and I didn't.
I will say though that Neomuna is still a fantastic place. I love.
I think it's cool, but I think it's useless looking. Like, what's the point of being there? Like, there's like it's a metaverse for all their people whose minds are somewhere. Like I don't even know where they're hooked up at. They're like hiding somewhere.
Yeah. The population is like electronic in a way, like digital.
Yeah, it's just like
I
these.
see
You
that.
can see them; they're all over the place. Those like little
Yeah.
human-looking things. It's confusing because
Yeah.
it's like this sick thing, and I
Yeah,
was
it is
like
pretty
hoping to
weird.
maybe get a glance at like what the people out there looked like and what it was like to live on a planet that no one knew about, that it like had golden age tech to make it look that cool.
Yeah.
But overall, big fan of Strand. I think it's still so new that like there's even more stuff that we haven't figured out we can do with it. But
Yeah,
And then
I'm
every
glad.
season-
I'm extremely glad that they get. Damn, he's stranded way up there. You see him? Jesus
Yeah.
Christ,
Poor guy.
bro. He was way up there. But I hope he's not afraid of heights. Jesus Christ.
he's not. He's about to not
was
be seen.
hilarious.
He's about to be dead.
I'm just really glad that they did give us a lot of the stuff right there after the first couple days, because if Strain was really underwhelming right now, man, would that have been some shit on Twitter if
Oh
if
yeah.
like the things were still
That was
know,
so let's say
locked
just
behind
for
the
everyone
raid or something like that.
for everyone that's listening or watching, you don't know. Whenever also my camera's not working, so rip. Anyways, for what happened was like 2 days after Strand came out, Bungie decided to release all of the aspects, right? Or fragments. Was it fragments or aspects?
Fragments.
The fragments weren't all unlocked originally. It was going to take who knows how many weeks. I'm assuming they were about the time to
It
get the
said
crap.
3.7 originally, so it'd have been at reset. So we would have to wait a whole week
A
for
whole week
to have
to
the
get
full potential of Strand.
Yeah, so I think that was super smart for them to unlock it a little bit sooner for everyone, so that now everyone going
Absolutely.
into the raid will have an even better idea if they're even going to use Strand,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Instead of
Nova,
having just a week.
I was going to ask Nova while we're on the Strand topic, I know, so you're going to be competing obviously in the day one raid, which is happening this week.
Yes.
Have you guys started talking about like what you're going to like?
That didn't work. Damn
Like,
it.
are you going to be using Strand? Is Strand even viable
Yeah.
in endgame PvE?
We
Like,
Probably will be, yeah. Woven Mail is probably the most busted means of survivability in the game, because
I
you
will
can
agree with
chain
that.
it.
That has been a huge thing. Woven Mail is.
what is
Woven
that?
Power
What's woven
thing.
mail?
It's basically a shield that goes around you, and you get 65% damage resistance while it's active, and it lasts.
Is
about
this
10
on all
seconds.
characters or
All characters, yes.
Oh wow, I'm gonna have to look.
There's a fragment that gives you Woven Mail when you pick up an Orb of Power.
Okay.
So by the way, do not melt this boss, because we have to kill every single ad in here and then farm our
We're
reses
almost
the
at-
end.
Is this the last room?
This is the Tormentor, yeah.
Well, no, isn't there a whole nother room after this though?
Yeah, there is.
And we're at
But
91,000.
there's only like
Yeah,
like
you,
two.
you literally have to kill everything. It's
There's
too
only
low to
like
get to
two
100K.
whatchamacallits in the next room. There's not very many enemies.
But anyways, keep going, Nova. Sorry, you're talking.
Don't.
You were talking about
ads.
You were talking about this busted, awesome survivability build
Yeah,
with
Mail,
Strand.
yeah.
Woven Mail, yeah, it just allows you to get 65% damage resistance, and the fragment allows you to get it every time you pick up an Orb of Power, which Orbs of Power are like very prevalent right now. Now that Elemental Wells are gone, and Charge with Light mods are gone, but they're kind of just turned into Armor Charge, which is only based on picking up Orbs of Power, unless you put on different. There's like mods like Powerful Friends and things that give it to other people. But yeah, I mean, if you're gonna use Strand in the raid, I will not judge you for it, because it is very, very strong.
Really?
Warlocks are, I think
That's
Warlocks are the strongest. Titans are also very strong, but Warlocks have ridiculous ad clear. The super does a lot of
They
damage.
do. The Threadlings are
Um,
very cool.
Even this build I'm running right now, you just consume a shackle grenade, and you shoot Osteo, and it just spreads everywhere, suspends things. It's super nice.
Dude, that's what I
There's
need
a
to do.
lot of options.
That's the one thing I've been so focused on power grinding this week because it's like my brain's so set on the old way of doing crap that
Yeah,
I
right.
haven't got a chance to
You gotta rock it.
start building, and I want to watch your guys' crap so I can s-
Reses.
okay,
We need
gotcha.
100K. Let's go.
Let's go.
dude.
Oh,
Love
that's
it,
funny.
love it.
that.
That was like right on the edge.
We had to do the other day.
Anyways, yeah, I haven't done any building. I like know what I want to do, but I just haven't had a chance, right, to like sit down and just like take like an hour to like look through everything, kind of like watch videos, make my builds, then do my loadouts that are now built into the game, figure out how the stuff works. Because like I'm a really simple gamer. Like my mind doesn't go straight to like, all right, if I have this mod and stack this and do that and do
I'm
this
the
and do that,
same way.
like it's gonna work. Nova, people like Nova are the people I have to have on Earth to help me do that. So like I gotta like really study what they're saying, because I want to play meta. Like I want to play what's the best. Like I want to be.
That's me too. Yeah.
I wanna-
just use the best
send an
stuff.
ally.
I want to be an absolute monster, but it's I it's tough because I have to watch videos, so I haven't had a chance to do that yet. But
All right, accommodate me.
oh shoot, almost forgot. This is a new thing that they just added into the game, accommodations, where we just blindly rate people's performances
Yeah,
at the
So
end.
you're so knowledgeable.
Quite literally does nothing for us.
Great ally.
Oh man. But anyway, so we're done with that. So let's move into we finished a
Yeah,
mission. So
so
we talked about
now-
campaign.
We want to talk about some seasonal things. So, so this season that came in, of course, being season of the Defiance, has brought on a couple things. One of the best things, I think, and this, I don't know if this is a hot take, but Terminal Overload is one of the best things this game has ever received. It is fantastic. It's a public
I
event that
agree.
you can load into. 1 to 3 players. You can continuously load into it where it's halfway done for you. You can cheese the chest where you get unlimited. You get so many chances at all the things. And also, one thing that we're going to be doing as well too is the Defiant Battlegrounds, which we're going to load into right now.
Heck yeah.
This is basically a kind of like a strike in a way.
It's just the
kind of
seasonal
best way to
activity, like
put
the
it, yeah.
seasonal 3-person activity, just like last season was
Yep.
with Heist Battleground, season
Yeah.
before
I'm
was.
gonna give you leader, Luke, just so you can go into it, so we don't mess up your thing. Because
Okay.
you said
Yeah,
you had to
yeah.
Yeah.
do a specific thing. So
I personally like I usually hate when I probably will eventually, because I'll do a million of these for the seal, but I usually don't
Mhm.
like the seasonal like activity, because I usually think it's too long. Now this
Mhm.
one's technically the same length as like the Heist Battlegrounds, but it's for some reason feels faster. I think
Yeah,
this
I don't mind it.
I think it's
I think it's
fun.
pretty good.
It's paced really well.
yeah,
I'm excited for there to be 3 different locations, obviously, to switch things up. But so far, I think it's a really fun activity. It's fast. There's lots of cool stuff to do in it.
I will agree. I do like this a lot as well too, compared to like old overloads or even battlegrounds in a sense as well too. The battlegrounds that were implemented lots and lots of seasons back were just something about them. They're just boring.
Yeah, there's just something about it. I
yeah.
don't know what it is. I think it's just
I don't even know
pacing.
how to
Original
explain
ones.
it, but there's just something about this, and maybe it's because we have Strand where this doesn't feel too annoying.
I mean, I'm not
where
even
I just
using
feel extremely
Strand.
powerful, for now, and I don't know. I also love I love the throne world esque like
Same.
features that they implement in this. I'm a huge fan of kind of like that Shadow Realm
Same.
aesthetic that like the dungeons and all the throne worlds and stuff have.
I love them, and I love the EDZ.
Agreed,
Like
yeah.
I'm a huge EDZ fan. Like anything that's on Earth. I don't know why. I think just because we live on Earth, that it's like easier to connect to. So I always get excited when we do anything on our planet.
Yeah, I mean, it seems more eventful when it's actually on Earth.
Yeah, you kind of remember what you're fighting for a little bit. This junky
Yeah.
piece of garbage place, but it's nice. Yeah, I like the seasonal stuff. So with the seasonal stuff, the farm came back. Now, right now, there's
I was
Yeah.
excited to see that. That's where Mara's kind of hanging out, and but it's definitely run down. I don't know if you guys saw that whole building.
Yeah, it's completely destroyed.
Yeah.
what happened there.
I'm
Did they
curious.
say anything about that?
I'm not sure, but I know we lost our beloved soccer
Yeah,
field.
I don't know what happened.
Soccer
And,
field's gone. See, I haven't even went on there to
Yeah,
like
they
check.
took away
Yeah,
the
yeah,
soccer field.
field is like destroyed in some way.
Wow.
But also the building where like one of the old characters there was hanging out with the building like behind where Mara stands
Oh,
got
where
destroyed as well too.
where the Cryptarch lady
but it
was chilling.
The,
Yep.
Oh gosh.
it was the the Cryptarch? Is that where the Cryptarch was hanging? I can't remember.
I
like
think she
the
stood right in front of that
vanilla D2,
building.
but, it was like the water tank tower that kind of destroyed, but I'm excited. I'm curious to see how they implement it. Again, the seasonal story updates every week, so it's like you have to grind something for so long for a week, and then you get some updates, based off what's going to happen next. So, but I'm curious about this story, of course, because I think it's going to continue what we don't know after the campaign as well, too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was hoping to see is a continuation of the Lightfall story rather than a separate story throughout the year. With Witch Queen, it felt like each season had a totally different story, and it wasn't really that interconnected up until the
Yeah.
season of the whatever Seraph last season. And it was I think that was the best season simply because it felt like things were finally coming into fruition, things were finally connecting. That's why I enjoyed that season the most.
Yeah,
I want to see
this
more of
recent
that.
season, the Seraph season.
Yeah,
I
I want
think
to see more of that.
I think at this point, like with where they're at in the story and with the seriousness of what's happening in our solar system, like they can't like I think the next 4 seasons cannot afford to miss on telling an actual story that is linear to what's happening with the main campaign. So
I
like
agree with that. That's
it's
a good
it's
point.
got to be the main campaign continuing basically inside of the
Yes.
seasonal stuff, or else it's just going to be like kind of like it caught me off guard like when we did the stupid season of the plunder with the pirate ship crap. Like I mean,
Yeah, I
it
was
was
like, what is going on here?
yeah,
Like,
it's cool, but it's like man, I like it takes me out. Like we are fighting like literally about to be in the second collapse, fighting the darkness. Humanity could be going away, and we're over here just like
getting the
pretending.
plunder.
Yeah, getting plunder. Like so.
Plundering the booty.
Because right now, technically, what's happening, I think, is this is what are we doing right now? We're fighting against Callus's people who are chilling
Yeah,
on.
Callus's forces.
They're like going to each planet and kind of screwing with us. I'm assuming. I have no clue what's even going on in this. Do you guys know?
I truly don't know either.
I think the premise of it is they captured humans, and we have to like.
Oh
take
yes,
them back
yes.
to
This is we're freeing Amanda
the
Holiday. We found Amanda
prisoners.
Holiday because
Yeah.
she was in the fight against the Witness there in space, and we're freeing the prisoners that they have on the planets and stuff that they took.
That makes sense.
And we'll see her at the end of this one because this is a part of your story, like you talked about. This isn't the actual like more difficult one from the playlist. This is actually the season one. So we'll see Amanda Holiday at the end of this one here. For those that are watching.
So
Um,
I was going to say too, one of the things that we learned in the campaign, which this has to do with this conversation, is essentially that the darkness isn't really like. This was still confusing to me too, and Nova might have a better idea of this, but the darkness isn't like an entity; it's a thing that the Witness
It's
has
just a
taken
force.
control of, right? And
Yeah.
is
Mhm.
using. Like, are those ships like pyramid ships? There's nothing on them. They're just controlled by the Witness, right? Like, there's
Seems like it. Yeah.
not like gonna be this physical being. Because remember, we all thought like the veil was gonna be the darkness, and it was gonna be these like weird creatures. Now, maybe all this will still be a thing in Final Shape, but it wouldn't make sense at this point for there to be just a brand new enemy, just right at the very end of the game. Like, I kind of feel like they're using he's using Callus as an army for him, basically, for the darkness.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, Callus is definitely like one of his. I mean, he refers to him as his disciple now. So I mean, that's why I don't understand. I don't think Callus is dead, and I may be stupid. That may be something dumb that I've.
Yeah, I don't think Rolk's dead either, though. Like, I think we're gonna see all these baddies at the end. To be honest, in
I
some
think they're
form
gonna
or
be
another.
like one final push, like hey, almost kind of like how the nightmares came back. Like how he's using the nightmares of all these old characters. I think somehow these characters are going to come back and be like his infantry of some sort. And
Yeah.
maybe I'm just I'm not a big lore person, and I have no clue if anything I'm saying makes any sense whatsoever. And someone could literally just be laughing at me right now, and I wouldn't know it. But
I'm the same way, but I also like care deeply for the story of this game because it's always
but
it's
some
always-
Me
things
too.
I just have questions about.
it's
you
always
know?
been so confusing, like since D1, that we're finally getting answers, and I honestly think the answers are making things more confusing.
Yeah.
I'm
I
like,
agree.
wait a second. So are we fighting the darkness? Or are we fighting the Witness? Or are we fighting Callus? Or are we fighting
What
what?
exactly is
What
the
are we
darkness?
doing? What
Yeah.
took at what killed everybody in the first collapse? Like, was it those ships that just blow everything up, or was there actual enemies? Or like, there's just so much that I feel like we know, but we also don't know, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Johnny's right. When does Zero Wrath come into play? We were hearing all last season, oh no, Zero Wrath is trying to take control of Rasputin, and then we killed Rasputin, or he killed himself, I guess. And now, like, we don't know what's going
Now
on.
where's
with Zero
Zivu?
Wrath. She's
Yeah,
just
now
not
where
here
does
anymore.
that person
And
play
where's
it? Yeah.
Aramis? Like, where is she? She was in the
Yeah,
ending
where is
cutscene.
she?
Like, where did she go? She was right there.
Those
Did
are
she just
questions we have.
die with the Seraph station or something? Like, what's going on?
That's true. I
wanna
don't. Nah,
see-
they wouldn't kill. Well, actually, just kidding. They killed one of my favorite characters off camera, which was Sagira. So I mean, I guess I wouldn't put it past them on killing off another main character off
Yeah.
off camera on
Oh,
a
no, what do I mean?
comic book or whatever. But yeah, I'm very, in my mind's basically just very intrigued with what's these. I think these seasons are gonna have to do a really good job, like I said, of telling us what's going on, or else everyone's just gonna be
Yeah.
very confused.
I can agree with that. And again, I'm not one that like pays a lot of attention to in-game story as well too. Like I'm one that kind of cuts the cutscenes off
Oh, same.
sooner than they should be.
I literally don't watch them,
So-
and I go watch someone's video about it later whenever I'm like when I'm in a better state of
That's fair.
mind. I'm not kidding. I'll go watch a Bife video instead of just. He makes it more fun than in the game somehow. So
Oh, by the way, there's a way to Oh, okay, never mind.
wow,
I'm gonna throw it at the wall real quick. No big deal.
Nice.
there's a way to do what?
I was gonna say there's a way to have an extra ball for the second go round, but not anymore because I just wasted it. You slam these at the same time or whatever, you get an extra ball, and you can take that extra one into the next go round.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
certainly hope that the live stream doesn't look like the screen I'm seeing from yours right now. It is just like 2 frames per second.
Yeah.
I don't
it's
think it
just
is.
The game
Someone said that mine
itself.
was a lot better. Yours is even on the preview of the season of the.
It's
thing
funny
is,
because
like-
it looks fine on my preview. Mine looks perfect. Like it looks like there's not any drops, but
Yeah.
it could just be different for each person. Like just like my camera looks pristine, but that's because I think it's going straight into the computer, where yours is just a
Right,
stream.
Yeah.
But anyways, what's next? Sorry, this is like a jumbled mess of talking, but I love it.
It is because we're trying to play and.
Well, no,
and
there's
I
just
know.
so
At the
much
same
stuff that
time.
came out, and I'm just trying to like.
There is, yeah.
I'm
no, there's
trying
a
to
lot
just, like,
talk about. I mean, it's a whole DLC. I mean,
I'm like just trying to let my brain unfold all of what it's been thinking about as I've been trying to play this game at 3 a.m. all week.
well, I want to kind of get Nova's thoughts on. So Nova, you've talked about doing, and we've seen it. We are definitely people that see your hard work. Take us through like your day in the life of since Nightfall or since Lightfall. Like, what have you been doing? You've put out a lot of build videos. Like, take us through like your
Oh,
day in the
man.
life of someone
Yeah,
that's
like,
trying to put out YouTube
Exactly. I've always
content.
wanted to know that.
Seasonal content. Like, what is your main priority?
Yeah, like what do you do? What goes through your mind? Because I don't envy you all, because me and Max just get to play this and have fun. You guys are like making videos and playing it as fast
you
as
guys
humanly
are like
possible.
literally stressed about all this new content.
Yeah, you gotta.
Like in a good way though, in a good way. So
Yeah. So you kind of have to think about it like, all right, I want to actually enjoy this, but while I'm enjoying it, I also need to be thinking about what can I do to make this better, or what can I do to make this work with this in terms of build crafting. And same with like damage testing. You have to think about a new weapon catalyst comes out, or a new buff for GLs comes out, and you have to think, all right, I got to do this. But then you're also thinking, I got to enjoy the story for what it is. I want to just play the game and have a good time. And that's the stress of it, is you know that it's a big opportunity for you content-wise when new things come out like this. But you also just, if you enjoy the game, you want to just play it. It kind of sucks because it's like, it's a dual thing. I don't know how to explain it, but you just kind of have to think about multiple things at once, like content, raid prep,
Condemnations.
and just playing and commendations. Yeah, don't forget about commendations. Always remember about that.
We gotta get that score up, bro.
Thoughtful.
I'm a joy bringer twice. Sheesh.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the orbit, Mr. Luke.
Thought
for me, it's like I'm trying to not only do content, not only play the game, get all the crafted weapons, learn the meta, but I'm also trying to get ready for the raid
Yeah,
and
that's a
have
big thing as
everything
well
that I
too.
need is like I'm doing like 4 things at once. So again, I'm just trying to do as much as I can as fast as possible while also trying to just have fun for the few weeks that we have like the biggest amount of content until a few weeks after the raid, I guess. So that's kind of how I would explain it.
Gotcha. Well, let's talk a little bit about the raid if you don't mind. If we can, unfortunately, we can't show any gameplay of it because it's
Yeah.
not out yet.
Yeah.
But one of the biggest things that this DLC brought us, as we talked about, the campaign's kind of underwhelming for most people. We get a lot of things on Twitter that we see where that the campaign was kind of underwhelming story, the way we killed Callus, all that nonsense. Well, some people are referring to this as the raid honeymoon phase, where we have that sequence in Destiny of a new DLC. We have that sequence power leveling up to the raid, where it's all about just getting ready for the raid, getting ready for this, getting ready for that, and then we kind of like don't get to, like you said, we don't really get to enjoy what we're playing because we're so focused on something else,
Yeah.
and we're skipping cutscenes, we're doing this, we're doing that, we're doing this, powerfuls, pinnacles, blah 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 blah, and now then the raid comes out. So one, I want to get y'all's predictions on the raid. As we know, the raid it leaked or even came out from Bungie as well too. It's called
Doom of Nightmares.
Root
Or what
of
is it?
Nightmares.
Root
Is
of
that right?
Nightmares, yeah.
Root of
Root of
Nightmares. We're
Nightmares.
gonna
Yeah.
calling it
Root of
Ron.
Nightmares.
Ron.
And so take us through just seeing that screenshot. What do you think Root of Nightmares is gonna be? Who do you think the final boss is? Who do you think like what are we gonna be doing? Where do you think it's at? Do you think one subclass is gonna be super strong? Like take us through your thoughts of one
All right,
prepping for the
so
raid and then the raid itself. What are your predictions?
So, in terms of, I guess I can start with prep. Some things that I've been doing are obviously you only need to be 1780 to get into the raid on
That's a huge
contest.
thing as well too. That
Like
you don't really need to be a high light level.
the main thing isn't really power leveling itself. It's mainly like getting infusion fuel and dumping it into all of your weapons in your vault and all the new weapons and making sure that you're leveled for whatever situation you may be put in. In terms of raid predictions, well, it's kind of like right in front of us because if you get in the game, go to Neptune, if you wear certain piece of armor and use certain weapons, and that being Nezarec related things, you hear dialogue from Nezarec. And
Oh,
basically
really? Okay,
he's
I didn't even know that.
he's very menacing. He's essentially how he's described in the lore is the darkest hour and the final god of pain. So Nezarec Nezarec is very interesting because he essentially, if I'm remembering this correctly, he was a guardian at one point. He
We're gonna do a Nightfall, by
became
the way. 1770.
Cool.
Yeah,
Let's
don't
do
worry.
2 of them. All right.
Okay.
that's fine.
I'm laughing because I know why.
Yeah.
I'll-
So he
Okay.
became kind of a disciple, so to speak, and then he ended up betraying the witness. And we don't really know all about him. We just know that he died, and he's the one that pretty much commanded the lunar pyramid ship. And he's the one that created all of the nightmares that we've been seeing since Shadowkeep.
Mhm.
So we know that he's not exactly the guy you want to mess with. In terms of where we're going and what we're doing, well, it seems as though we're going into the Traveler because the Witness's ship went into the Traveler with him, kind of got like sucked in at the end of the campaign. And the raid is going to be on that ship because of the terraformed environment
thought I
that we
got your-
see.
Oh yeah, in the picture, yeah, it's like
Um,
it's what because when the freaking what's it called? I'm literally forgetting what the main thing in this game's called. The Traveler.
Traveler?
The
Yeah.
Traveler.
So yeah, at the beginning of the campaign, the Traveler essentially became the Death Star, shot a beam of light at the pyramid, ripped a hole through it, and
Okay,
started.
but tell me real quick. I don't mean to interrupt.
Yeah,
Tell me
no, you're good.
what is the hell was the Traveler creating with all the roots and everything?
Dude, it was like shooting light
So-
and like making
Is
light
that
what,
stuff.
what I'm
was?
thinking
Like-
is the Traveler itself is the Gardener. That's what I'm thinking. And the Gardener, if anyone in chat doesn't know, is essentially when Destiny 1 came out, there was lore about the two essentially the creators of the universe, the Winnower and the Gardener. The Gardener was the one that created life. The Winnower was the one that pretty much got rid of life. And they created this thing called the game, which is now what we know as the universe, which is the cycle of life and death. And the Witness's plan, as of right now, from what we know, is to end the game. Hence him saying the game is over at the end of the Witch Queen campaign. So what I think the Traveler is doing, actually, I don't even know what the Traveler's doing. I'm gonna be honest.
I did honestly.
But-
I've never seen some shit like this, like in this game.
Well, yeah,
But-
because for 10 years now, almost, we've been watching it do nothing but sit there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now that it's doing something, some type of defensive measure or something's going on, but now we know the Traveler can destroy pyramid ships. But the Traveler didn't destroy the pyramid ship. It just ripped a hole through it, and started branching these roots and these looked like plants, which indicates that the Traveler is probably the Gardener.
Yeah.
And as we know, the Traveler is the Gardener, and the Gardener creates life. So we know that Nezarec is dead,
Mm.
and if Nezarec is on the pyramid ship, that probably means that the Traveler revived Nezarec. And that's what I'm wondering is why would it do that? And so
Oh,
our goal in the raid,
Maybe
is
it wants Nezarec to be on our side for the final battle. Maybe we need Nezarec for something.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe Nezarec has some sort of like power that we really could use besides maybe just the nightmares.
crazy how we haven't really heard much of the name Nezarec in a lot of the story as well too. I mean,
Yeah, it's just in the lore mainly.
yeah, right. Like we haven't really
Up
seen.
until Plunder, we didn't really hear about Nezarec at all. We just saw him in lore. But my question is, like, what was the purpose of Season of the Plunder? Because we were collecting these relics of Nezarec, which ended up reviving Osiris, but that wasn't their original intention. I don't think, at least. Like, what were we intending to do with these relics? Are these relics related to the raid or something like that? Like, did we need them for its power? Are we just studying it to figure out more about the darkness? Like, I am totally lost on that. I don't know what we were doing that season. But I feel like it definitely could relate to the raid in some way. And I'm not sure how, but I want to figure it out. I
I'm
wanna
really
learn how-
excited to see what the raid unlocks in this world because I do agree with you. I think
Oh yeah,
I think
I love that the raid
That is
changes
a
the game.
very good point because that has happened a lot ever since like Last Wish, where the raid is completed and then something else happens afterward
Yeah,
in the world that we knew previously, like how Dreaming City changed and had that cycle, and how you could get this DSC, you got a exotic, you got the lament and stuff. So I'm curious. That's a good point.
there's a
I
lot.
forgot
I
all
mean,
about that.
there's a lot that could happen, and it's cool to see because they tell us like the Traveler came and made this golden age where it was just like giving life and making people live for hundreds of years and all that crazy stuff it talks about.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is the first time we got to see it do something, and it was literally creating
I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm
a
dead.
giant light garden inside of a thing, which also reminds me of
Yeah.
that season. I think it was, I can't remember what season, but where we went to Io and we went to where the Traveler touched Io
Season of Arrivals. Yeah,
and there was the big giant tree there. Like it looks,
yeah.
some of the stuff inside of the I don't know. I think it's like I think in the end there's got to be some sort of connection between the dark and the light, and I don't know if that's the Traveler starting the beginning of that connection by like pushing into those ships. But dude, this raid, I couldn't tell you what's gonna happen in it, but I cannot wait to see if it's inside the Traveler because we've always wanted.
yeah, it's
I-
definitely mysterious. I haven't seen a raid that I've been this like lost on. Like they kept the raid completely redacted until they showed that image,
Mhm.
and they still didn't necessarily tell us where it is. But you can kind of figure it out by the image if you just do the campaign. Watch
Well, they
the
say it was in a
cutscenes.
pyramid ship, and now I'm curious
Yeah,
because
I
you
think
see
it's
all
just
those
that
roots
pyramid
and
ship
stuff. Well, you see all
that we
those
saw.
roots and stuff where, like, is it in the pyramid ship that the Traveler shot his fucking light into? Like, is it that specific pyramid ship? Because you see the roots and stuff of like in the screenshot and everything. So
Yeah, I
I don't
mean,
know.
that pyramid ship also went into the portal. So
Yeah, all of
Oh,
them.
okay.
Literally all of the
yeah, every
pyramids are in
pyramid
the.
ship that was
Okay, I didn't
beside
know
the
that. I
traveler
didn't know
all
all of
went
them.
into that portal.
Yeah, literally,
So
they're all gone.
either
Oh yeah,
it's
no
just
more
gonna go,
pyramid
hey
ships.
guys, and just come out of the portal, or we're gonna go into the portal and
To-
explore and figure out what's
Yeah,
going
I think we
on.
got it. I think that's the next step because there can't like it would make no sense if we just have this um giant
It says it's in
portal.
a pyramid ship, so if they're all in there, I mean,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm just saying
that
we
explains.
can't have a giant hole in the traveler and not and just like have it be sitting there for season after. I mean, I
Yeah,
guess
it
we
can't
could.
sit there for a whole year.
Like we have to
Yeah.
do something in between. Like and then also did you this is probably speculation. I don't think it's gonna have anything to do with the raid. It might though after all that open space on the directory right next to like right next to the traveler. If you look at the destination, there's like
Yeah.
there's enough spots there for probably like 3 or 4 planets.
Oh yeah, you're right. There is a shit
I'm
ton of stuff.
wondering if Io, Titan, Mars. I wonder if all that stuff's gonna like
Yeah, they
come
could
back
come back somehow
because all the
from the
like
traveler.
the ships are gone, so technically those places should be back to safe. And since they're doing away with the DCV or whatever, then I would assume that's their way of getting it back. But I don't know. I think I'm really excited about the raid. I'm going to just try to hop into anybody like if Six Fronts team gets it finished fast and there's a second clear.
No,
and-
we've already been
Yeah.
promised a day 2 raid.
Yeah, we're
Me
like
and you
the
both.
yeah we are on the day 2 team, but we'll see what happens. I'm really excited for you though, Nova.
Or
I
like
think
a sub if they need it.
I think that you are going to place really well, and I think that
That's the goal.
you should be focused on it, but don't stress like too much because you know how that ends up. Some of the
Totally.
teams that win are like the least stress sounding teams ever. They're just chilling. Like they just have
Yeah.
they have like that compatibility to play where they're just they know they're gonna fail a bunch throughout the day and they don't let it get to them. You just keep going. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to see
I
you
mean,
guys
that's
finish
bound
it.
to happen. So
I
gotta
think
be ready.
how like if you had to predict how good is your team?
We're pretty good. We have a lot of chemistry as of right now.
How many raids
we're
have you
still-
guys done? Is this the first raid you guys have done together, or you guys have been?
Yeah,
I
this is
know
our
I
first
recognize.
raid that us 6 have done as a day 1 team.
Okay.
But we've done a lot of practice and discussed things pretty thoroughly before and after Lightfall launch. So yeah,
Oh, yeah.
we're pretty prepared. We're still gonna, I think we're practicing right after this too. So
There you go.
Nice,
we're gonna-
nice.
What do you do
gonna
for
figure out some
practice?
stuff.
What does that mean? Like what kind of stuff do you guys do?
Essentially, we just figure out as a teams for us specifically what works best for damage. We do some under-leveled content just to kind of get our
Yeah, because that's the biggest thing I think that you can practice is just like practicing for like survivability, right?
yeah, because survivability is the most important thing because damage can always be improved upon, but survivability is a lot harder to improve upon at times if you're
Absolutely.
struggling constantly with it. So yeah.
There's tangles everywhere. This is hilarious.
I just looked and I have no aspects or fragments unlocked on this character.
Nice, nice.
So it's not that much fun for me, but it's okay. What is
Well, I don't
this?
think this is gonna reach him, but
Oh, sheesh.
I have a shackle grenade.
I just
he's
threw
dead.
I
Never
threw
mind.
my super
Never
at him.
mind.
I got him with the Izzy.
Nice.
What do you think is gonna be meta damage wise in raid?
I
That's
mean,
gotta be something that's gotta be huge as well too, because you have to kind of predict that, do you not?
yeah, but you can also, I mean, you can easily test things. Obviously,
Yeah.
you don't know the encounter design at all, so
Right,
it completely
right.
depends on that. But you need to know what's the best thing for weapon type. Like, Cataclysmic is probably the only linear right now that I would say is genuinely viable. It has good ammo economy. Even though it got nerfed, it didn't get nerfed that bad. It was only 15%. And it also has bait and switch. So
That's one of the biggest damage perks in the game, is
yeah,
it not?
It was a 35% damage buff. It still is, meaning it's going to be 20% compared to 35% last season if you compared it that way to what it was. So in terms of like other things, rockets didn't get changed at all. So rockets are very reliable. Can't go wrong with those.
Come on, hurry
I
up.
don't know. I mean, there's a lot you could test. Anarchy is decent with warlocks because of it procs Starfire and Protocol.
Is Anarchy viable solution again for end game content? By the way, what'd they do to it this season?
They buffed it 20%. So
nice.
now, we did some testing and it is doing a lot more than intended. So it was supposed to be doing 20% more, and it's doing over 100% more damage.
Oh no, so they're probably gonna
So-
not. It's probably not gonna be usable on raid day, is it?
No, it might be. I mean, it's not like broken like Winter Bite where you just shoot the thing and it just blows up bosses
And
immediately.
the health bar quite literally just like
Yeah.
deletes.
Yeah, it's not like that, but it's pretty good. I just don't think it's stronger. I think it got power crept really hard because the last time that Anarchy was meta, there wasn't really as many good options as there are now.
What's the best? Like,
linears weren't
if
as
you were
strong.
gonna go into a end game activity, raid, nightfall, GM, whatever, what would you run this season?
Into like a GM,
Like
I would probably run
GM or
Izanagi.
raid, just anything that's gonna keep you alive, but also do insane damage. Like, what would your full loadout be? Also, I am a fellow mini
I
tool
like that
Callus
weapon.
mini.
It's cool.
I love it.
Cool weapon.
Mine's
So
still leveling.
in terms of like a raid, it would depend on if I'm doing damage like short range, I would probably bring something like Anarchy and a fusion rifle, Starfire.
Yeah.
Maddox was doing the duality farm with me. It's pretty dumb. Last season,
It was
you
really
basically
good.
just shoot Anarchy, and then
It's like
you
the
spam your
brainless way
fusion
to-
rifle.
It's like the brainless way to
Yeah.
DPS.
So your one fusion rifle shot will fully charge your grenade when you're in a well or an Emprift with Starfire.
What, like a
So-
heavy fusion rifle? Like
No, just a regular fusion.
Oh, just a regular like chill clip, like
and
one
you
that
can
you get
pair
from
that with
Crucible.
Anarchy, so you have constant uptime on your grenades, so you don't have to worry about that at all. In terms of like long range, like really long range to the point where I can't, like an Oryx style fight from middle, I'd probably just bring Cataclysmic since it's really the only linear that I would say is viable right now.
is Storm Chaser not viable
Sleeper-
anymore? Because that was my go-to last
No,
season.
it's not that viable anymore.
Dang it!
especially
So I
things
need
like
to go
Reach
into
Regret.
Val and get 2 more Cataclysmic so that I can.
I need one more as well too.
100%. 100%.
I need 2 more.
I would do that. I would do that before reset Tuesday and then do it after Tuesday.
That's a good idea.
You can run a roll.
Guess we're running
CP
Val
and grab
tomorrow
it.
Six
night,
friends.
maybe.
6 friends. Gonna help. Yeah, we're gonna do
Yeah.
a Val run, not full Val.
Val
Just
tomorrow.
I
for the
just
boys?
need Rolk, right, so that I can pick up my weekly one. All right. I wanted to know that from like someone who like knew all the buffs, because I don't read any of that, so I have no clue what changed every season. And Storm Chaser, I had an insane roll on it last year, and it was my favorite heavy to use. So it sounds like I need to get a Cataclysmic that I can,
Yeah, that's really
Pretty
good for
guy.
long range. Sleeper actually didn't get nerfed at all. It's the only linear other than Queen Breaker that didn't get nerfed. But Sleeper has pretty bad ammo economy, so it's kind of hard to use. You could get away with it, but I still think Cataclysmic is better. It shoots faster. The bait and switch buff is nice.
And you can pair it with the Wither Horde, which I think a lot of people
Yeah, you
don't
can use an exotic
really
with it.
underestimate. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
using
a
Wither Horde's my-
legendary way to.
See, that's my thing.
DPS.
I like to run Wither Horde and SMG, and then a legendary something. Like right now, I'm running Wendigo. Am I making a mistake?
Well, Wendigo is, it's okay, but like, an easy way to explain it in my eyes is, don't use it.
Dang
Just
it.
don't use it.
Well, I've been using it since this came out because I don't know
Oh,
what's.
Don't use it.
I don't.
love that.
I don't know what's viable in the heavy slot right now. So
Easy
I'm
way to put it, just don't fucking use it.
Yeah.
dang it.
Be clutching it up,
Well,
bro,
it
for
sounds like I'm
boys.
gonna need
It
to.
needs another buff, I think, if it's gonna be top of the meta.
I
Because
get.
Rockets with Galahorn is just dumb. Like, it's just there's nothing that competes with it right now. So
Oh, so I can run Galley, but then I can't run my. See, like I'm lost if I can't run my Wither Horde. To be honest with you, like I don't know what to run in my.
Nate, come
Primary.
on, Nate.
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
almost
that
forgot.
thing.
Almost forgot. Let me do it.
Oh,
Maddox, you're very thoughtful.
Thank you.
You're very thoughtful, Nova.
Thank you.
Let's go. That got me to 7. Oh no. Oh, that was the Nightfall one. Okay, what am I at? What's my 6, 7?
Let's do another Nightfall if you don't mind.
I'm fine with
Okay.
that.
And then
Good.
let's talk about our let's talk about our hot take of the week. I think is one of the last things we have up on the playlist here.
Yeah.
I'll bring it up on screen. We're talking about the Lightfall campaign again. So doubling down here. Hot take of the week, which we kind of all agreed. Well, we all kind of like came up with this hot take, and I'm not sure if we all have the same take. But the hot take of the week: Lightfall campaign did not answer all our questions, and that is okay. So what that means basically is that we still have a lot of questions. The Lightfall campaign did not, you know, answer everything that we had about the veil, about what the witness wants, what is a traveler, and that's okay. Like it's okay not to have all these answers as the campaign comes to an end. So, what are your thoughts, Nova?
So I think that it's okay that we don't know everything if the seasonal content does a very good job of leaning into the main story, and we get introduced to either new characters or current characters, learn things and share information with us about the Veil, and things of that nature. Obviously, it would be nice to know more from the main Lightfall stuff, but we did get more information on the Veil from post-campaign things. Now, it would be nice not to hear about the Veil from a news thing on Neomuna, but I think the way they've organized the story from now on is there's 2 more years, this year and the final shape. We're not going to have every answer now. We have a whole nother year, plus a whole nother 4 seasons after the final shape campaign to learn things, which I'm not really sure how that's going to work. I'm very interested
that's
for that.
true. What if that's it? What if there isn't 4 seasons after that? What if it's that season? We don't know yet. They haven't really said.
That is true. Like, what is after the final shape campaign?
Yeah, like
Yeah, it could
can
be
you
something
imagine if
totally
we had
different.
this giant ending and then it's just 4 seasons of us patrolling the EDZ because there's no enemy anymore?
Yeah, I mean, I guess what they're gonna do is either lean into a new story, like set it up with those seasons, or something crazy is gonna happen after the final shape. But I don't see that. I don't see them doing that in a season. I feel like their seasonal content is something they want to keep like to a minimal.
Yeah,
But
especially
I
when
think
they time gate it for
Lightfall,
12 weeks.
yeah, I think Lightfall did an okay job of like obviously the gameplay side, but when it comes to the story, it's nice to know things. We don't have to know everything right now, because again, the final shape was supposed to be Lightfall, and the final shape is kind of what we expected Lightfall to be in a way, at least the start of it. But if they're gonna expand Lightfall's story across a whole year, I don't mind not knowing everything right now. But I feel like from a new player's perspective, it's a lot worse because they are completely lost on what everything is.
That's a big thing as well too, and I think Lightfall brought a lot of new players back to the game as well too, because there's a lot more things that are now accessible to everybody, like the Guardian ranks. You have the loadouts. A lot of these quality of life things brought a lot of new players, and I can't imagine the amount of questions they have after playing just
Bro,
that.
look at the questions. We've been talking for almost an hour and 13 minutes, and you hear how many questions we have? We're like veterans at this game.
Exactly, yeah, and we've been playing this game since it came out.
I
Yeah.
can't imagine.
Fair, yeah.
I honestly think like it's kind of at the point where it's like getting close to like how World of Warcraft is, where like I can't, if I go play that, like I can't expect to have any clue like what anything is at all. You know, unless I do my own research. That's kind of where this is at. Like we're at the end of this crazy saga that's been going on for 10 years. Like how on earth is anyone like I don't even think I don't think this game's built at all for new lights.
And take it even a step further. Like imagine someone like trying to go watch season 13 of Grey's Anatomy, and they have no clue who any of these people are. They have no clue what they've
That's
done.
That's basically what we are. We're in the middle
Except
of a TV
this time
show.
You can't access the previous season.
No,
yeah. All the previous seasons aren't accessible. You have to just figure the fuck out.
Gotta go watch YouTube videos.
Oh god.
Can't really do it for yourself.
Yeah. See, I'm kind of mixed on both. Here's the thing. I think one thing that people are kind of not understanding is the way that Bungie tells their stories. And I think one thing that Lightfall is doing a lot differently is not letting the campaign be the only storytelling that comes from the DLC. Does that make sense? Like, Imagine if the campaign was all you get for the whole year, and then you just get seasonal content that is absolutely fucking pointless.
I mean, that'd be kind of like D1 where we didn't even get seasonal content. We got a story, and then we'd have to wait for a year and a half to
Yeah,
get
Yeah.
anything
So would
else.
you rather have that now and wait a whole year for the next campaign to come out, or do you want to slowly let the story
Yeah,
kind of trickle
100%.
like it's a seasonal
I-
thing?
I-
I mean, it is.
I live in the realm of I think it's sweet that we have seasonal stuff. I want to be able to do it as fast as I want to do it. I hate that it's like, all right, you got to do
Time-gated things.
3 things this week, and then next week you have to come back. I get why they're doing it. It's all statistics on how to get people to keep playing your game and show that
Absolutely.
like show Sony like, oh look, this many people play our game. Well, that's because you made us do 3 of the same exact thing for 15 weeks in a row. But if I could just like,
my life.
if I could roll the entire, like if I could do the entire season of content, like some of us just want to smash through everything so we can go play the stuff we want to play. That's where I am, and there's not many people like that. Like that's a small percentage of the player base. A lot of them,
Absolutely, yeah.
a lot of them will like not play for 2 weeks straight, and then they'll have 3 weeks of like stuff to catch up on. You know, I
Yeah.
want to be able to do as much as I want to do in a season, and I know that has nothing to do with this hot take, but like, I've just always felt that way. I've
But
always
it does.
liked.
You want the answers to all these questions. You want the story to be finished.
Yeah,
you
I
know,
guess
through
that's
the
what it is.
campaign
I live in the
and stuff.
I
so-
live in the like I don't think every question is going to be answered for like the next campaign, but Bungie's always done a really bad job at just explaining something properly. Like the whole entirety of the Destiny 1 first campaign was just like you finishing like what the frick did I just do? Like I don't even know what
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 the
it
hell
would-
is the Black Heart?
we would just waste our time doing basically. They're good at doing that in a lot of senses. They're also good at doing it well. When they do it well, it's like perfect, but when they're not doing it very
Yeah.
good, it's like
Yeah.
what the heck's the veil? What the heck's to this? What the heck's I mean, I don't need a concrete answer, but I need a little bit more. And I want to be able to get the whole entire story. Like if I want to do the whole entire story for the whole season or whatever. And maybe if it's not even this they restructured it and it's not even I don't even care about the seasonal story, to be honest. I just want to finish the stuff. I'm a completionist, so if I want to finish the seasonal seal, if I can finish a seasonal seal in a week, so that I could go play Crucible instead. I'd rather do that. You know what I mean? I find myself like
So it
sitting.
doesn't sound like you're a fan of time gated.
No,
like
I hate it. I hate time gated stuff.
Or like time gated storytelling, but you also don't think it's a bad thing because it's longevity.
It's longevity, and this is great. What we have the like. If you told me like during D1 there'd be a time where every like 65 days I was gonna have
every 3 months.
I was gonna have a ton of new content in Destiny, and they're gonna constantly update it and do hot fixes and this and that and that and this. I would have been like, bro, you're on drugs. Like I don't believe you. That sounds amazing. So like we're lucky, but then like if we're like being like if I'm supposed to like talk about it on a podcast, then that's what my opinion is basically.
Yeah,
Now I do think that the Lightfall campaign did not answer even like I don't even think it didn't answer questions that have to do with like this is where I'm like scatterbrained here because the campaign itself happened and it had kind of a payoff, but in reality there's just like a lot of small details that if we knew them, it wouldn't affect.
Where did all these people come from?
It wouldn't affect like my opinions on Final Shape. Like I don't want to just know everything about Final Shape before, but like there's some stuff like I would have liked to learn more of about the Cloud Striders or seen more of them or just a good explanation of what the veil is or show us the veil, you know, the thing that we're protecting or I don't know, just unless I can be proven wrong, which I probably will be in the next whatever the next thing is. If it's way better, I don't know. I just kind of live in the. I would love to know a little bit more about what was happening there because I felt I didn't have many questions after Witch Queen, if I'm being honest. I thought they
answered a lot in Witch Queen.
We figured out who Savathun was, what she was doing.
But that just comes back to where I think Lightfall was just like an in between that was supposed to be a full thing because you could tell Witch Queen was like really thoroughly thought out. Like they spent a lot of time making it really deep.
New destination, all that good stuff. We fought someone that we've been, haunted by, and she was from seasonal content as well too. Like a lot of the things that we did in the past was because of Savathun and stuff. So I mean, her story made complete sense, and I don't think we got the same. I agree. I don't think we got the same thing from Lightfall, and that was because maybe it wasn't even supposed to be here. And like they said,
Yeah,
So.
I literally think it comes down to that. Like, I'm keeping that in my mind is like, I think genuinely they just had a switch up on the development, and that just kind of affected a little bit of what this was. And then what happened was they needed to market it like it was no one's business because they knew like this isn't going to be as deep of
And
a
they
thing.
did, dude. They marked, dude.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen so many promos for Destiny
Oh, same, bro. They
until
marketed it,
Lightfall.
and
Like,
they
I mean,
marketed.
we have streamers with millions and millions of followers playing this game.
Oh yeah.
Like, think about that.
Yeah,
Like, we
Tim the
had
Tatman was playing. Like
Tim the Tatman, Tfue. You have Cloaksy. You have Mizkif did a sponsored stream for Lightfall. Like, so they went into the streaming world and as well too, and got a lot of big guys to put their name on it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
So, and which is weird because why wouldn't something like that happen with a better, well thought out, you know, supposedly supposed to be their DLC, you know?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yep.
But yeah, so that's my hot take. I don't think that it's. Like I say, I know I said on this podcast like 10 times in the last couple episodes that I had my expectations set for something that wasn't going to be that exciting because it wasn't the final part of the story. I like the final part of the story. Yeah. So, did you guys both say your hot takes? I know that we've been talking about this because
we did.
I wanted to talk a little bit about quality of life changes because that was like one of the largest things that happened in this DLC.
Absolutely, and I think they're fantastic.
Let's go
they're
through some of
great.
them. Let's go through some of them.
Let me pause just real quick.
Dead air.
OMG.
That's the worst.
Okay, all right.
It's a cardinal sin.
All right. Yeah. So quality of life changes. Let's go over a few. I'll tell you my favorite, and I think that this is what Destiny as a whole has been lacking for so long, and it's in-game loadouts.
Yes.
That to me is one of the greatest add-ons that I think Destiny's had in years.
Same.
It alone has sparked like my interest in build crafting because then I think a lot of the issues were you didn't want to, you know, put all these mods back on this thing and you forgot what it was. You had to save it in a third-party app and hope that it was right the next time. Now it's in game and it's all right at a click of a button.
Yeah,
it's optimized extremely well, and I just, for me, I mean I have 4 or 5 builds on almost every character now because it's just simply that easy to do so, you know.
That's awesome.
There is one flaw though. It doesn't exactly allow you to put things back into the vault. So
that is true. Yes, the one flaw that it does have is the fact that it does not take from your vault. But that can almost be a lot. So I actually saw this on Twitter earlier. I saw where someone made their loadouts, but only for their armor. And how they did that is they just put blue weapons in their slots, saved the thing, and then deleted the weapons. So, and then deleted the blues. So that way, whenever they got their loadouts, it's all based off just their armor, which we know, you know, a bunch of different weapons go with a bunch of different things. So you don't necessarily need weapons saved to your loadouts because maybe you need to use a different loadout, but still the same armor. So it only switched his armor, which I thought that was really cool. I thought that was a really like kind of easy way to get around it. But then again, it would be cool to have just an armor loadout, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely changes I think that they'll make. Like once they see how it works, how everyone uses it, they'll tweak it and all that stuff. But I haven't really used it, to be honest.
To grow with it.
I haven't touched it yet. Just because I've been waiting to like I've been honestly just been waiting till I can like be the right power where I can infuse all my crap and then not have to worry about like if I'm gonna do like 5 builds with different pieces of armor and stuff, like having to one of them be like have one of them be 1600 or whatever, and I just wasn't ready for it yet. So I'm excited to get into it because
when you get into it, you're gonna love it. I feel like it's very simplistic. You just make your build and you just click a button and it saves it.
That's awesome.
I mean, it's quite literally that simple.
I love simple. Simple's fun. And I always wanted to do it on dim, but I never took the time to actually do it. I'd always like start working on it.
Dim can be so confusing. I am a firm believer that dim is great, but man, can that just be a very confusing website. But I just glad it's not a third party thing. It's not something that where like it's like a website you can go to and save all the stuff. No, it's in game
Oh yeah,
and
it's the
it's right
kind
at
of
Oh
the
yeah,
tip of
stuff.
your
100%.
fingers.
It's the stuff we asked for. We always ask for in-game stuff, and then like,
Yeah.
isn't? Although I thought that they were gonna add matchmaking this season. Is that not
Game
coming
like
this season?
LFG.
Yeah.
LFG. Yeah, they're doing it after the next
That is
raid
coming.
comes out.
Yeah, that is coming at a later date. But what do you guys think about the biggest thing that kind of came, and that was Guardian rank. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh man, Guardian ranks. They don't feel like they're meaningful, to be honest.
Got the thing, by the way.
I agree. I
They
think
don't
also
feel meaningful.
with the idea, I don't know what the actual like logistics are on it,
Run, Luke.
but the I don't like how's it resetting each season? Like we're not just gonna keep that rank forever, right?
So it's the gold ones. The ones that are colored gold will reset.
So you go back to 6 every season.
I think so. From what
That's-
I understand.
That's stupid. Like, what's the point of doing it then? Is there going to be something that
Yeah,
showed us that
Another
we?
thing is, it's kind of like comp. Like every person was pretty much given the same rank for the most part.
Yeah,
Versus someone who started the day Destiny 2 came out, grinded all day every day for years, and someone who got the game last season have the same rank. That doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense to me.
Yeah. I think it's very uncharacteristic of who is actually like put their time and effort into this game. And I don't think it represents, the time put in, or even the skill, or I guess you can say skill, or just knowledge of the game as well too. I don't think it
Yeah.
represents that very well. I will say
Yeah, it
that for
doesn't.
sure. Send me now. Mend me or die in game.
oh, sorry. Here, let me get you.
But saying that, I do think it adds some grinding to the game. I think it's cool. I think it's something we get to wear,
Yeah.
like like we've been asking for. It's a cosmetic type thing where we can show off that we are, we're the baddest of the bad. Walking through the tower, we get to go and we do the little glowy thing, which I have not done yet, because I'm slacking.
Yeah, you're slacking, bro.
And I didn't accommodate farm or whatever you guys did.
It's fun.
It's very
But
fun.
I do think I think it's a positive thing in overall. But it's like you guys said, it has some bugs, it has some pros and cons. But I do think the pros weigh out those cons. I think they can definitely improve upon this system, as there are ways to do so. So
Yeah, I think it's a cool system because I'm a completionist, so I like to do stuff that makes me want to keep playing. Like I don't typically play, like I've said on this before, I don't usually play specifically for like, oh, sick, I got this cool drop or this weapon's cool. I play specifically for like, hey, look, I have like right now I can look, I'd be like, I have 20, I almost have 50 seals in this game. Like that's what I like about
Yeah.
this game, you know?
yeah,
And it shows investment. So like this kind of shows investment, but kind of doesn't. I hate that it resets. Like it shouldn't. Like maybe just make 11 reset. Let me be at 10. Like I feel like it's a waste to have to continue go from 7 to 11 every season. I like to do it the first time. Like that first grind to 11 will be fun, but then after that, I'm kind of
Yeah.
like I get burnt out of it.
And maybe have it like at 10, and then it resets every season from 11 to 10, and then they basically update the next rank that you get dropped down from to the new activity. Like if
Exactly.
the next dungeon comes out, they update the triumphs so that you have to solo flawless the dungeon, you have to do so and so, all these triumphs, and then you get the level again. That would be a good way to do it
Yeah.
Mhm.
versus just like everyone gets reset all the way back down and has to redo everything.
Yeah. I mean, resetting is not a good thing. I will agree. But then again, if you get everything done in the first season, what do you have to grind for, following seasons as well too? I think that's something that you have to think about is the resetting gives you something to continue on. But maybe there's some way that they can, I don't know. I guess I'm kind of looking at like an overall guardian rank, like as like a lifetime guardian rank, when they're kind of looking at it more of like a seasonal guardian rank. Like how badass were you for this season and this season alone compared to previous seasons? Like how we can look back like, oh, I was guardian rank 8 on Season of the Defiance, but Season of the Deep, I grinded that shit like crazy, and now I was guardian rank 10, So
Yeah.
maybe they're looking at it like that. I don't know.
I hate it. I want to just because I'm not because this is my problem. I'm going to do this every season, regardless.
Right.
I just
Yeah.
don't
Now you're
want
forced
to.
do it.
I don't want to do it every season. So that's the only part that's annoying to me. Like it's gonna probably be a
Yeah.
good
I mean, it
50
makes
hours
sense.
of investment just to get to 11 or whatever. Like I don't. I also have to do the seals, so it's like it's just a combo of a bunch of crap that I don't really want to do. But I
Mhm.
do
Yeah.
like the idea of having another thing. Now I wish it didn't show above our heads. I wish we could choose what showed above our heads. Like I wish we could either choose
I
our
wish it was kind of like a seal. I almost like
yeah
showing
Yeah.
off my seasonal rank. That way someone really put some work in
yeah in the
for that
Golgoroth
season.
maze, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I wish it was kind of
Luke
like a
loves the
seal. You could
Gorgie maze.
choose to wear your guardian rank or this or that. I think that'd be cool. Like 6 veteran was underneath your guardian as like your seal, but then you also had your I don't know. I don't think replacing it as the like seasonal node above your name was a good move. I don't like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can agree with that.
it's like the only time I'm gonna be a little elitist in this world is like if I played this game 30 times longer than someone who barely played it, it should show for it on these ranks. Like us three should have a really high rank compared to someone who just started playing like 2 seasons ago, unless
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually mentioned this to Walzer earlier, another teammate of ours, and I told him I was like, I think one thing that really would separate the Guardian ranks from wow, this person put a lot of work in this season compared to wow, this person has played this game as a whole a lot is like if there was like a triumph for just time spent on the game, you know, and Guardian and rank 12 was like 1,000 hours or something like that. And yeah, that may not be a lot to us because we've been playing since the beginning,
Mhm.
but someone that wants to be a badass guardian has to play this game a lot, or just overall activity completions. Like, what if somebody loves to do Defiant and they'd want to do that shit 1,000 times, and you need 1,000 completions of activities to be the badass guardian? That person put in a lot of work. You know that they've put in a lot of time and they deserve that rank up. Like I thought, adding something where there's a time based triumph would have been cool to know. Like this person ranked up, and you know damn well he spent a lot of time on this game and a lot of time doing this and that.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good point. He said, "What happens with my loadouts when
Oh
the
god.
season ends?"
Oh my god. Yeah, I didn't think about that because
Oh
you
shoot,
have
yeah.
loadouts. I wonder if that's maybe so. Again, those are things. There's certain things in the game, and I'll bring it actually up real quick. I'll pull up my journey, and that is actually not something that will be let's see, lost sectors. So that is not something that will be reset. So actually, I'll share my screen here real quick for those that are watching live in our Twitch chat. It is actually something that will not be reset. So just a quick little clarification for those that are watching. It is only these gold things that are going to be reset. And of course, we've already completed Lightfall. And if you go back, guys, if you go back and you see all these things, like we don't have to repeat this. It is all done. Or maybe it's the blue things that are being reset in
Yeah, it's
some
probably the
way.
blue
So like,
things.
and it's going to be Season of the Deep, and it's going to be the seasonal artifacts and be commendations. All
Combination
these things.
power.
Yeah,
Okay, so
so
that's not gonna be that.
these things are not being reset. It is going to be, you don't have to redo the Nightfalls, you don't have to redo all the champions, but you're gonna have to redo your seasonal artifact perks, your artifact bonus, your lost sectors, blah 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 blah. And I haven't unlocked rank 8 yet, but
Well,
you
you
guys can see
actually
that.
lost
So
sectors on mine is gold, so you're not gonna have to redo that.
okay, so there you go.
So
So there's just certain things that are gonna be reset and certain things that I will not be. So just to kind of clarify,
Yeah.
your loadouts will be fine. You got those unlocked; those are yours. But that's that was a good question, by the way. For those that are in chat.
Yep.
But Nova, do you have any last thoughts? I think we're coming to the end. We did quite a few things tonight, so
I think I've pretty much talked about everything that.
if you could
Yeah.
give us a 1 through 10 of your Lightfall experience, we'll do this for everybody. Give us your 1 through 10 rating of Lightfall, your experience
for
so
week
far.
one,
Go.
by the way, yeah,
Yeah,
like
just
week
from noon on Tuesday to now. What is your rate?
Okay, so I'll average out gameplay and story. and like the grind in general. So I'll probably give it like a 6, to be honest.
Okay, that was lower than I
6.
expected you to say. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Why just a 6?
The gameplay I'd give a 9. Uh,
Okay.
the gameplay was great. I love Strand. It's my favorite subclass as of now. There is some recency bias there, but it is really cool. The tormentors are cool enemies. Hopefully we see those in the raid. I'm really hoping we do.
That's a
Those Hive
dude. I
Guardians, we didn't
love
see
the
them at all.
tormentors.
We didn't see
Love the
Hive Guardians
tormentors.
at all in Val. So I'm hoping we see tormentors in the raid. They're really well designed. They're genuinely hard to kill. Their crit spots are crazy because they have set crit spots, but they move around all over the place and they're so tiny.
They
So
chase after you. It's like almost having a champion that's unstunnable in some way.
yeah. Story probably like my average was probably wrong, but the story I'd say probably like a 4 or 5 because we don't really know everything that's happened or that's going to happen yet. We haven't had everything explained to us. I felt like the campaign could have been longer and more thorough. The grind, probably like average, maybe 5 or 6. I don't know. I mean, kind of just in between. I felt like the grind was fine. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good. I like the new focusing system where if you finish a pattern for a weapon, you don't get the red borders for that weapon anymore. You only get the red borders for the things you want. The leveling system's nice. It's pretty easy to get to powerful cap, even on one character. And the legendary campaign isn't that bad to do solo, so you can do that on all your characters. Get Strand. I really, really like the subclass thing. I think it's way better than Stasis. I like that you can just play with the subclass and get meditations, complete activities, and then there's quests that you can do that also give you huge boosts, like 250 Strand meditations. You can rank up with Nimbus to get a bunch of them as well, versus Stasis where you had to do a quest to get a grenade.
I still don't have all mine done, by the way, for
Dude,
stasis.
I still don't either. Stasis was
terrible.
painful.
You had to do Gambit. You had to get Stasis kills in Gambit. Then you had to do like 3 strikes. You get Stasis kills in the strikes just to get a grenade. And then you get another quest that unlocks like your melee or your aspect or one fragment, things like that.
It was awful. That was the worst system ever.
It's a big upgrade for sure. I like.
I will agree. They implemented Strand very well. I will totally agree with that.
Yeah. So
What about
probably
you,
like
Luke?
6 or 7 overall.
Okay.
I'm
6.5.
giving Lightfall a 5 out of 10. It is as average of a DLC as I've ever played. Yeah.
Okay, y'all are tough to please.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't gonna be pleased. I've said that week
that's
after
true.
week.
I mean, I understand.
I'm pleased in the fact that this works out. All right. So like I was in the busiest season of my career the last like 6 months. This is like the first month that I've had that I've been caught up. So it's been really nice to play this game again. Now, if I'd been playing this regularly for like the last 5 months, I'd probably be really angry right now, to be honest, because this is just the same crap we get every season with a really cool subclass. Now, I will say Strand is the winner here. Like Strand's amazing. It's very fun to use. I love the color green, so that's helpful. I thought the story was really bad. Like the only cool thing about the story was the cutscene that should have been one whole cutscene. Like honestly, if I could just skip the whole campaign and just got that cutscene connected from the front to the end, I would have been happy. I didn't need to play that campaign. Which, coming back to that, I paid $40 happily to skip my other 2 characters, by the way. So I only had to play the campaign once. Now, that was our hot take last episode.
Was, yeah.
And I still don't think I should have had to pay for it, but I do not regret it because I'm just today I switched over to my Warlock. I brought all my weapons over, and then I got my character to 1800 in like 10 minutes by pulling seasonal pass stuff to him and like mid-maxing to 1800, and then now I'm doing pinnacles immediately. Like that's like my perfect way to do it, where I did all the work on my hunter. Now I just want to go pinnacle grind on my other 2 characters. They did get that right slightly for me. Now I did have to cheese it a little bit by going back to old seasonal ranks, right? Which I don't even know if that's allowed or not. So get us. You can get us if you want.
Mozilla Firefox,
actually, it is allowed because I paid for that stuff, so I should have access to it. So screw them if they think that's stupid. But overall, they changed like nothing in PvP, so we didn't even get to go there. Where's the map? I thought we were supposed to get a new map. Is that or no?
Supposed to get a new map, and then they're bringing back Meltdown and Citadel. So that's we're supposed to get the new map on the 3rd season, and then the 2nd season we're getting Meltdown, I think.
That's insane. We should have got a new map this season. But I think overall, it's just a lackluster expansion that is going to be outshined completely by Final Shape. I'm having fun. I'm playing with the homies. I get to hang out with the Six Fronts dudes finally. Like I'm having a really good time playing the game. But from a content level, I don't think it's good.
Yeah, when you look at it as a whole, I understand what you're saying.
But I have a lot. That's week 1. Like there's a lot of time to go. So like we can talk about this again like 6 weeks from now, and I'll probably be in a similar place, but it'll probably be a little bit different because if the raid's really cool and if they add like more gear, I don't know if the story continues to evolve, if the world evolves, then that might be more exciting. But for now, I'm giving it a 5 out of 10. What about you?
I'm going to be a step above you guys. I'm going to go 7 out of 10. And my reason for that is because this is something that I've asked for a long time. Me personally, is quality of life. I think the quality of life that this DLC alone brought to the game is phenomenal. The loadouts, the Guardian ranks, I think is cool. I do agree. It has some stuff that needs to be done. But the Strand, the way that was brought apart, all the build crafting was simplified. And you can save it. Again, the loadouts. I'm always going back to loadouts because I just think it's such an awesome thing that was come to the game. Like, it is truly not talked about enough about how loadouts alone can be now saved in game and you have actual build crafting. Like, build crafting is a thing now. It was all simplified. And again, just like you guys, I have more time to play the game at launch. I got to experience the campaign on day 1. I'm going to experience hopefully the raid day 1, day 2, blah, blah, blah. But I just think that the expansion itself, this campaign being a little lackluster, I will agree with that, but I certainly still enjoyed it. I'm not a big into the story, but I just enjoyed kind of the difficulty of that, and then being able to see the Tormentor for the first time. He snags you with that scythe and kills you. You're like, holy shit, this guy's actually a threat, and you have to figure out how to kill him. Moving on into like the seasonal content, I think was brought on very well. You have a Guardian rank with Nimbus that you have to go after to get certain equipment that you want. You have the biggest thing that I thought was brought to the game as well too is Terminal Overload. I think it's a fantastic event. That activity alone, you can do so many things at once.
I will say that is fun. I will say that is super fun. I put out a tweet
today, and it may not be super fun, but dude,
you get a lot of stuff. I was just gonna say it's not fun. The whole
much stuff from that one activity, just from completing it, and you can cheese it as well too, and I'll explain that. But you get Nimbus rank. You can it counts as XP towards all your your crafted weapons. It counts towards just general XP. You get to farm the Neo Muna weapons, which are awesome. You get to farm world drops, which can also be red borders that you may not have gotten in previous seasons. You're farming legendary shards. You're farming glimmer. You're farming so many things where there is not a single moment that you are wasting doing terminal overloads. Nothing. If you need legendary shards, you go do that. If you need this, you go do that. Weapon levels. I've crafted 50 things, it feels like, since this past season started. Because I'm like, oh, now I don't have to sit at Shuro Chi and waste my fucking time getting 33% maybe each time. And I have to waste raid banners to get special in my test. It has to be so perfect. Now I can just go play the game and enjoy it like it's supposed to be. That, I think Terminal Overload is extremely underrated as an event. And I think it's the best thing that's been brought to this game seasonal-wise since Menagerie. That's my hot take.
Although the actual event, if you do all 3 rounds, is the most boring thing ever.
Itself is boring as can be.
Like I always load in. I'm like loading in. If it's not on 2 or 3, I'm out.
My time doing 17 different stages.
It's like
possibly be by myself. No, you load into the damn thing. You hope for a 3 out of 3. You kill the boss. You cheese the chest, and you get 3 chests for the price of 1. It is the best thing ever. And if they patch it, I'm gonna be
no one's gonna play it. We'll all be done after that.
It'll be the biggest like nuke you can drop on something to just completely ruin it. If they like take out that like load zone and take out like the cheesing the chest, I'm gonna be extremely upset. And I probably won't play I probably will not honestly play. I mean, I might, because it's still like a quick little kill the boss, get a chest, move on type deal. But it won't be as efficient, and I'll be extremely upset because it's such a great thing. Strand. I love Strand. I think Strand is fantastic, and I think it only gets better because of the loadouts and because of the build crafting. It is easy to make a build. It is easy to understand the build as well too. And there's so many things you can do with it. And suspending things is so cool. And again, that's why I gave it 7 out of 10. When I break down every aspect of what was brought to us, the 3 that's missing is PvP. PvP is completely neglected. Gambit completely neglected. Another thing as well too, why this I give it a little bit more than you guys did, is also the core playlist. The Gambit Strikes and Crucible all got focusing. It all got old content is now being brought back to focus stuff, where you can focus your engrams. And that's what I've been hoping for a long time with a lot of different things. Is I can now focus grind. I can go play PvP knowing that when I get an engram, I can go turn it in for something that I want and not just hope for what I want. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's again why I would kind of give it a little bit higher than what you guys did. So.
That's fair. I mean, they also get rid of umbrals so that you don't, lose things in your postmaster.
Dude,
And you can stack like pretty much unlimited engrams for each vendor, so that's nice.
that was
Yeah,
so
that's
smart.
true.
I'm
Yeah.
glad they added that. I haven't had any issues with that since they changed that, which has been really nice. Because I lost, I lost 10 Ascendant shards, but that was my fault because I was just doing terminal overloads too much and I wasn't checking my postmaster and it pushed all my stuff out. Because you get a ton of loot from doing those. If you grind those for a couple hours, it's
You
just so
do.
much crap.
I got lucky. I was cheesing the chest the other day, and I got the week where the day was the SMG, and you can possibly get something out of the other chest. So you get the guaranteed SMG, and I got the other chest, and I got an SMG. I came back in, got another SMG. I came back in, got the shotgun. So I got 4 Neomuna weapons within a span of 5 minutes. It was insane. I'm like, dude, this is awesome. Maybe all those 4 were really terrible rolls, but still, now I just farmed all my Glimmer, Legendary Shards, and all this other stuff that I need anyways, So.
Yep.
All right, sweet.
Cool.
We did it. That was fun. That was good. That was
We did.
good. That was a good talk. Honestly, I feel like
It
we
was,
talked
yeah.
more than usual because there's just so much. Like we just have so much to actually talk about because there's stuff out now.
There is. Nova, we appreciate you being here, my friend.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Tell us where we
Glad I
can
could
find
show
you.
up. I am on YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, Twitter, all same name, NxtupNova, NxtupNova. So if you want to follow, subscribe, whatever is applicable to that platform, there you go. So yeah.
Cool. Are you have any big projects coming up? Any specific video that you want to tell us about?
Don't think so. I mean, a lot of it is kind of day by day, figuring out if there's something new that comes out, or someone makes some cool thing, posts some cool thing on Twitter. Try this thing out now. I'm like, all right, I can make a video out of this or something like that, essentially. So I like just trying what's new and what's popular at the time.
Awesome.
Heck yeah.
We again appreciate you being here. Thank you for having this conversation. Glad we got to play as well too. That was
Oh
fun.
yeah, it was a good time.
Dude, it was nice getting to play a little bit. Got a couple pinnacles.
It
Had
was.
some fun.
Unfortunately, the viewing experience may not have been.
Yeah, it was
at
probably
top
all.
quality,
It looked
but
awful. I was watching it, but hey, at least we did it.
We did it. We
Yeah.
did it. But this was still a lot of fun. I really
You can
appreciate
blame
you guys being here,
Restream
so.
for that, for not letting us
Yeah,
change
honestly,
settings.
It's not us.
Yep.
It's the software. 100%.
Sick.
Cool.
Sick.
You made it to the end. We as a team, I don't think have many things coming up here soon, but we do have a very big podcast guest coming up here in the near future. So definitely hit that follow button.
Yep.
Listen to us on
Huge.
Spotify, wherever Apple Podcasts, all that good stuff. And we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah, we'll see you in 2 weeks for a big, fat episode. We'll see you then. We'll see you then. Thanks, Nova. We love you, and we love everyone listening. You all have an amazing night. Adios.